Good afternoon. This is a special meeting of the Griggs County Commission. The time is 1:03. We're starting a little late. This is to discuss some issues with County Road 8, which is west of Binford, between connecting Binford and McHenry. We'll take roll call here now, and then we'll stand for the pledge after the roll call. Averill. Tranby.
Here.
Zorn is not here. Edlund
Here.
is here, and Wakefield's here. Fine, let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So in the meeting room with us is the Griggs County Sheriff, and I believe the state's attorney is on Zoom call. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So we were made aware of a letter from the Minn-Kota Public School District concerning County Road 8, which is the road between Binford and McHenry that went underwater a number of years ago, 2020, and there was a repair done to it, and it was left gravel. As we pursued federal and state monies to cover the approximate $2 to $3 million cost of repairing it. To date, those monies have not been able to be secured. We're still working on that, but it appears like the school district has serious concerns about what's going on out there with safety issues. So I'll read this into the record so that everybody, in case anybody is listening, understands what's going on. This is addressed to the Griggs County Commissioners. Attention, Wayne Oyen. It's from the Minn-Kota Public School District. It's written by the Superintendent Christy Halverson. Dear County Commissioners, I am writing on behalf of the Minn-Kota School District to express our serious concerns regarding the condition of County Road 8, specifically the section between McHenry and Binford. There are two areas along this stretch of road that have been stripped of their pavement and temporarily replaced with gravel due to ongoing efforts to build up the road. As you are aware, this road serves as a vital connection for our district. The unsafe conditions are causing great concern, particularly with the increased risk of accidents or vehicle damage in these areas. The loose gravel creates treacherous driving conditions, especially for our school buses and the many students and families who use this route to transport their children to and from school. We respectfully request that these stretches of road be repaired and paved immediately. Ensuring the safety of our community is a top priority, and we believe addressing these issues promptly will prevent potential accidents and improve the overall safety of the road for all users. We appreciate your attention to this matter and look forward to your prompt action in resolving these dangerous conditions. Thank you for your commitment to the safety and well-being of our community. Sincerely, Christy Halverson, Superintendent of Minn-Kota School District. So, given that we are presented with a situation that can't be ignored. Obviously, this letter was written 8/22, is that correct? And to our records, we never received it. It was never received at the auditor's office.
Nope.
And it was never received by the road department. Nevertheless, it exists, and people referenced it in my conversations, and finally we got a hold of the letter, and that's what this meeting is all about. So first of all, these concerns being raised, dangerous safety concerns, public safety, we don't have a whole lot of choice other than to close that road. The question that it sticks in my mind, if for the last three weeks that they've known this road was a danger, why did they keep using it? But that's beside the point. So we need to close the road, I believe.
I didn't think the intent of her letter was to say it needs to be closed. I think her intent is to try to help move it along to get things done. And that's how I heard that letter. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's how I read. I don't think their intent was to close it, but to see if we have a game plan to it.
Well, we've been working on
Have
a plan. But
do we have a cost? Have we had it out there and have it appraised as how much it was going to be to get it fixed? Have we had that done yet?
well, you're a commissioner, have we?
I'm asking, have we had that done?
Well, again, this seems like a question that you should be able to answer. Have you been involved in that?
As I recall, I don't remember, so I'm asking you, John, or
Well,
Scott.
no,
if you guys
we've been working on this your whole tenure as a commissioner. It's been put forward for a grant on 2 different occasions and turned down. It's been an ongoing process that we talk about almost every meeting. And the solution is to use 20% of our funds if we get matching funds from the state and the federal, or to put forward a bond issue and use 100% of Griggs County funding via another levy on the citizens if they're in support of that via an election. So we're in a situation here. We're in a situation here where if this is dangerous, and what do we do? Do we if it's deemed dangerous, we can't hardly allow it to be open, can we? We put the county at risk at that point. So whatever the intent of this letter was, the result of the letter is now that the county and the county officials and the county commissioners are aware that one of the biggest users of this road, plus a number of other people, deem it dangerous. And now do we allow the traveling public to be put in danger?
So we don't have a price as to how much it would be to fix it.
The only way to do that is to put it out to an engineering firm and let them do the full assessment of it, of what the project would cost. And typically the engineering costs of the project are 20% of the overall project. The last time we had a bid on this thing, a proposal, it was at 2020 and it was $2 million, which would put the engineering costs at $400,000. Obviously the costs have gone up since then. At that time, the road was going underwater and moving farther west. We couldn't very well fix the road and have it go underwater 2 miles down the road in a neighboring county without a commitment for them to fix it. So the temporary fix was done here. It was approved by the state. It was approved by the state highway department. All the signage was put up. Everything was done correctly. The road got opened. And from that point forward, we have been trying to secure funding in order to fix it to a point where now it's going to have to be fixed where it's completely engineered and signed off on by all the rules and regulations of the federal and the state entities that might or might not be involved in this. And so no longer, if this concern has been raised that it is a danger, no longer then can we as county commissioners expose the residents of Griggs County to possible legal action because of our inaction. So whatever the intent of the letter was, the effect of the letter has got to be that now to acknowledge that at least it's in question whether this is a dangerous road to have open, and of course the only way to answer that question correctly is to close it.
The issue with that, John, is there's no plan B at all. You have to go south down to 200, or you have to go across that township road to go to the bypass, And it's just as dangerous going that way as keeping the other one open, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could go down to 200, just keep, totally close it, but there's no quick path to McHenry then, that's closed. And that is I think there is an ambulance station in McHenry, correct?
I think so.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah. and plus the fire department there too, so. That's the drawback of the whole deal is what do you, it's a kind of a catch-22, on this. I see the safety wise of it too, but the other reason is how do you not, try to keep it open, try to use it. If not, there's another way of going down using the road, There's no really easy solution on this one,
Right. And do we have prairie dog funds that we can use to put towards this project and that? What?
Well, I mean, the prairie dog funds are for maintenance and they're within the road department in this year's budget to $450,000 for gravel maintenance and upkeep of the roads. So there is no money allocated for this. The money that's allocated for it is in the other highway fund, which possesses the 20% of the possible $3 million. That funding is there. But it's obvious that this has been a concerted effort, this letter and a bunch of other people involved with this, including some of the county commissioners. If this letter was just meant to cause turmoil and not solve the problem, I guess I'll have to throw it back into the rest of the county commissioners' hands. What are we to do here then?
I threw a quick message out to Christy and asked her if her intent was to close the road. She said she apologized she wasn't clear on that, but no, her intent was not to close the road. It was to fix the road because it's the main road we use for busing and to go between schools. So it was just a letter representing that to let us know that, have us aware that road is not well and they wish to have it fixed, as soon as possible.
So looking at this from the legal point, there's case law that the North Dakota Supreme Court established. I actually wrote the district court opinion on it. That once the governing body is aware that there's an unsafe situation or something that needs to be fixed on a road to make it safe, that governing body is liable for any injuries that could occur from someone that gets injured as a result of that. So I have concern now that we allow the road open, and this has been voiced by the community, what kind of liability this opens up the county to without closing the road. I think the road has to be closed at least at some point to try to assess what's going on and what needs to be fixed to make the road safe. I don't know a better solution for the county and not to end up in a situation where the county can be found to be liable if something does happen in the meantime.
So to my understanding, if she wouldn't have sent that letter, we could have just left that road open and done nothing and just left it the way it was.
Well, I don't necessarily know about that. I mean, you guys definitely know that there's something wrong with the road now. It's been sent in a formal letter to the commission. I guess it would be my advice not to ignore that and to at least make an assessment of the road to see what can be done to make it better.
I agree with that. I think we should contact them and have them.
But if you know there's a deficiency right now, if we know there's a deficiency at this time, I don't think it's prudent to leave it open, Steph.
It's been deficient for 4 years.
We've always brought, at every meeting it's just about on the agenda, just about. If somebody's listened to a public meeting, has heard about it. We've been trying to work around it and try to do some work on this. It hasn't been ignored at all. It's been there. We know it's been an issue.
Well, I mean, if you just go back and look at the meeting minutes of the previous 2 years, it shows up in about every other meeting where we ask what, in fact, we've got the engineering working on it. We've applied for the grants. Everything that needs to be done has been done if we are trying to use other funds and match it with with our own public funds. If we are to the point that we want to put this out and pay for it completely on our own, then we need to commission an engineer to put together a total cost of this project then we need to take that total cost and we need to put it onto onto a ballot and let the citizens of Griggs County vote on a bond issue. We are in a position now, because of what has taken place, that, as Jamie said, our hands are basically tied. And I'll turn this over to our sheriff. I think she has a word or two to say on this.
I do. I would have to stand with Jamie too. Some of this wording, talking about treacherous driving conditions, no matter what was done in the past, what wasn't done in the past, we're talking about children on a school bus. I don't think we can move forward knowing that this is how they feel about the road. I don't think we can leave it open and be okay if something would happen. I think at this point I would agree to close the road and then move forward from there. As inconvenient as it could be, it's still, we got to keep people safe now that it's been brought up to our attention. Regardless of what happened in the past, what's been worked on, what hasn't. I would not feel safe moving forward with the road open.
Ultimately, Wayne's the road superintendent.
No, not as far as I know. He said he wasn't going to be available today.
Can we, Jamie, can we say close the road and have it reassessed and then figure out what to do later on? You follow me?
Well, I think that's probably the best solution. I mean, I think that if it's dangerous to the point that we're getting letters from the school district, I think that's concerning to me. And like I said, I think the county's on notice that there's something wrong with the road. This isn't, if you remember the previous discussions, this isn't as simple as Griggs County fixing the road. This road runs into Foster County as well. So this is a larger issue than just not having the money to pay for it. It's cooperating with Foster County to get it done on the Foster County side as well. I don't think others understand the complexity of this when you're dealing between two counties, or the need for everybody to work together on it. So I don't see any other solution but to at least temporarily close it until we can figure out how to make the road safe, until it satisfies the citizen that it's not something that's going to cause an accident.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, of course, that's going to come at some cost if we have an engineer take a look at it, or have a traffic safety consultant look at it, or whatever. It's going to come at a cost to the county just to do that as well.
Correct.
I guess my thought is that if someone thinks that the road is unsafe, then an alternative route probably should be used. But I guess that's not here nor there. I guess that the issue is that the road is unsafe and we need to do something about it.
Well, if that's the case, then you're going to have to go all the way down to 100 and go across that way. Because that township road, I'm talking to Lennis, they cut across and go around, it's just as dangerous as what we had before, actually worse. So.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is assess what's in front of us, and right now, County Road 8 is what we're looking at. And I don't know any way to make this a better situation at this point. I think if the intent was to try to speed up the process by this campaign to try to pressure some solution, I think it's done just the opposite.
And I think there's other ways. I mean, there's cooperative ways to work with someone. I don't understand what's going on. I guess I didn't realize that this was as big a problem until I was making aware of it last night.
Have they ever come to the board?
No, and so there as Jamie put forward, this is a kind of a complex situation because even if we fix the road, we still, in order to make it go through to the next major road, it has to go through 7 or 8 miles of Foster County. And there's been no indication that Foster County is of the same frame of mind of repairing or, in fact, Foster County, I believe, has made a decision to remove some pavement in Foster County rather than maintain it. I don't know if that applies to this road or not. Nevertheless, no matter what's done, there's a certain percentage of taxpayer dollars in this. And the only way to make sure that the money is being spent correctly is to let the taxpayer make that decision via a vote.
But we do have, the prairie dog fund, 900,000, plus we have more coming next year after the first. So we at least have there to get something going on this.
Well, now, Scott, you've sat in on the budget this whole time. The prairie dog funds are within the road department budget, and they have been utilized for this year. They're not standing alone there waiting to do something. They are part of the overall budget for the road department. So if you take out the prairie dog funds, the $450,000 that's there, you will create something else within the sheriff's department, within the road department, that will not be funded. I think a lot of this comes from a misunderstanding about how government financing works. That you can just force an issue and all of a sudden the money materializes and everything's good. That might work that way with the federal government, but does not work that way with county government. And a simple look at the budget will tell you there is no money sitting around that is not committed, because the whole purpose of a county budget is to take all the money that you can use that comes from an outside source, pay as many of the bills as you can, and then what's left to be paid is levied against the citizens. So I'm a little bit concerned that the people that were actually participating in the budget for the last 3 years don't understand the budget. So, what do you want to do on this? Sitting in our hands is not an option, evidently.
Well, I'll make a motion to close the road then.
We have a motion by Tranby to close the road. Is there a second to that?
I will second, only to support Amberly.
I didn't get that.
I will second.
Second by Edlund. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We need to notify the road department
Okay.
that needs to be closed immediately.
Okay.
On both ends of it.
Okay.
It
And-
probably would be a good call the school and let them know so they don't run buses on it today.
Yep. And we also need to then start the process of identifying and employing a traffic engineer in order to give us an assessment of the ongoing safety issues if we choose to reopen this. After we get that safety assessment, then we can make the decision on what needs to be done. Can it be left open, or does it need to be repaired? At that point, we might have to take this before a vote of the people with a bond issue in order to clarify what's going to happen here. I'll say one more thing on this. Governance doesn't work by threat. Government works by debate and open dialogue. And if we're going to keep governing by threat, this thing is never going to work. We have to get to the point where these issues are openly discussed in front of the public. The entities involved with this have never come to one of these meetings and voiced their concerns. And there's more entities involved with this than just the school. I've been contacted by 2 other entities that have voiced the same concerns, but never once has anybody come to a meeting and voiced those concerns. We have to get this back to a point where it's not a gotcha game of who has the upper hand and who we can put the blame on. And if it doesn't get to that point, there's no use having this form of government. Anything else?
I suggest it's all done is get everybody in the same room and discuss this.
I fully agree, but first of all, you have to be made aware that there's people that want to discuss it. It can't be happening on Facebook and behind everybody's back, with the targets being the commissioners, and with the threat that if something happens, the commissioners are going to be held liable for it. That's not the way this system works. Anything else? If not, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
That'd be me.
We have a motion by Tranby to adjourn. Is there a second? Second by Wakefield. Meeting adjourned at 1:30. Next meeting, this room, September 23rd at 9:30. Thank you all.